Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's Great White Northerner, and going to do things a little bit differently today, more by accident than design. I had been going through a whole bunch of boxes recently, and I had been doing them off camera because I hadn't been having much luck. The last box that I did of nickels, I got absolutely zero. I got no older coins, no US coins, nothing. It looked like it was a searched box. It felt very much like a searched box. There's no indication on them that they had been searched before, but my guess is they must have been because there was just nothing, an entire box, and I pulled zero coins out of it. So I was working on this one, and you can see I've repacked everything. I've got just the 6 rolls that have come out of that box, which are now basically sitting here. And so I got a little bit in terms of Canadian finds, so I'll go through that with you, and then I got a whole stack of US. So I thought it might be interesting to kind of treat this like a bit of a US coin roll hunt. And so I will go through these. I just pulled them out of the rolls. I didn't really look very closely at any of them. Obviously, there would be no like super old nickels because I would have noticed as I was pulling them out. But I certainly didn't look closely to see if there's any varieties or anything in here. So we'll kind of go through that and see if we can find anything there. And then I'm going to go through the Canadian finds as well. So let's move this out of the way. It's heavy. All right. Take a look at what we've got here as far as the Canadian stuff. So we'll start at the one foreign, minus the US, that I found. So we did get an African rand. It's kind of cool. I've never seen one of these before. Looked it up. It's worth about 8 cents Canadian, so I guess you call that a win. Not to mention it's unique. Don't have it. So then, as far as the Canadian stuff, nothing too old. I got 1962. So the 1962 does have a double date variety. I have looked at it on the scope. It's not the double date, but it is a 12-sided young head, so happy to find that. Also got a 1963, which has some doubling on, or well, there's a variety that has some doubling on 3. Again, this one does not, but I'll keep it. It's a young head, so I'll put it in with the rest of my collection. Got some 64s. So the 64s have several varieties on them. The extra water line, which if we were to look here on the microscope, so the extra water line comes in right, oh, my finger's way too big, just below that KG initials there. So it's a die clash or die crack that you can see, and it actually just touches the bottom of that KG. So it's really easy to find. You can almost pretty much see it with the naked eye, but it's definitely obvious that it's not on the microscope there. This one also has what's called, depending on who you're talking to, either the whistling queen or spitting queen, which is another die chip, is right in front of the queen's mouth on the obverse. None of these have it. I've looked through them all, so that's nothing too exciting there. Other than them being the young heads, so I will hang on to them for that. There's a 1965 here as well. The 1965 has a detached jewel variety, which this one is not. You can also look where the 2 is for Elizabeth. If the pip dot along the rim there is directly in between the 2, that is also that same variety. Which this one is not. So what else we get here? We got a 1966, which is just a low mint coin, and it's in decent shape, so I was happy to pick that up. I also got a 1971. Sorry, the mintage on the 66 is about 28 million, just under 28 million. The 1971 is about 27 million. We also have a so the 1979 I just threw in here. It's nothing special other than it's in pretty decent shape, and it does actually upgrade the one that I have in my book, so I've got that one. What else do we get here? So the 1990s are also low mint. They are, or lower mint. They're about 42 million each, and they also have a variant, which I'll show you on the microscope here, what you're looking for. So there is a variant where the die got worn right in the center, right between the front and back legs there, and so they call that the bare belly. So the variant you're looking for is where they have where there's no hairlines in between those 2 legs there, but that's not the case with either of these, so those aren't the variants. These 1996s I actually haven't looked at yet. Whoops, just dropped one. I'll be right back. So I had to scramble on my hands and knees to the back of my desk where it rolled, but anyway. So the 1996, it has a couple variants on the 6 in the date. So let's just take a look at this together because I have not looked at this. So that looks to me to be what is considered the near 6. So there are 3. There's the near 6, the far 6, and the attached 6. So the attached 6, obviously, the 6, the top of the 6 is actually touching the D, and the far 6, the 6 is a little bit further away. So let's just take a look at the other one, see if we happen to have got lucky and got a far 6 in here. And no, it looks like they're both near 6 varieties. There's bit of doubling. It's probably machine doubling. I don't think that I don't believe there's any variety as far as a die doubling in the 96. Are they both like that, or is that just shadow? It might just be the shadowing from the lights that I'm seeing there. But anyway, I'm keeping them both anyway because they are a little bit lower mintage on them. It definitely looks like some doubling on that, but they're both the near 6 variety, so that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for either a far 6 or an attached 6. What else have we got down here? So 1997 is another lower mintage. So the 96 is 36.6 million. And then the 97 is just over 27 million. So I got 2 of those. So hanging on to those because of that ARP program, they're slowly pulling all that stuff out of circulation. What else did I have here? So we have a 2006, and I was just looking. Oh, okay, yeah, I remember this one. Yeah, so this one is the no mint mark. So it is a lower mintage variety. I can't find an amount of them that are minted. And I've only found one other one before this. So this one's kind of rough shape. It's got a lot of circulation marks on it, but I'm going to hang on to it anyway because I really don't know what the actual mintage numbers are. And so there's 3. There's a 2006 with a P on the obverse, and right underneath the Queen's head there. And then there's also one with the Royal Canadian Mint mark, and then there's one with no mint mark. So this is the one with the no mint mark, and it's by far the rarest of the 3. The other ones are very common. This one's less common. So, and then of course I got a 2000, and it is the P variant. So the 2000 P is hard to find. There's just under 5 million of these that were minted, so it's a nice one to pick up as well. So it did all right. Had some pretty decent finds in that run, and then I also got lucky. I had one roll that had 2 dimes in it, almost back to back, just separated by I think 1 or 2 coins. So I ended up getting $50 in Canadian dimes, plus I got a US dime stuck in one of the rolls as well. So definitely made out a small profit there as far as what the dimes added to everything. And what I noticed quite often is the rolls were not short. So even when I pulled the dime out, I still had $2 worth of nickels in there. So yeah, so that's a win for me. So I think the next step will be to go through these US coins. I will sort them. Okay, so I do have a book for, you can see my fancy editing here, for the US nickel. So I don't really collect US coins, but because of these, and I've talked about this before, because of the fact I'm doing all this coin roll hunting and I'm getting lots of the coins, it's no skin off my back really to set up a collection here. So certainly of the modern coins. And then I don't really collect the quarters because just too many of them, way too many, and it just ends up being a ton of them sitting around. But the nickels and dimes and pennies, these are set up for Philadelphia and the Denver mints, 1 of each. And see, I don't know if you can kind of see that as we go through here. So that was split by a page. So let's go to here. There we go. There's one there. So there's a 2001 P and a 2001 D, and so they're all set up. So I'm missing, of course, the 2002 P, missing the 2003 D, and so on. So I will go through this and kind of organize by date, pull out the nicest ones, and make sure I can upgrade my book. And then I will I also look for if there's any varieties or anything in there. So that's going to be the hunt. A bit of a reverse. We're kind of doing the recap first, and then we're going to hunt through these US coins together, and hopefully find something interesting. So okay, so I've cleaned this all up. I got a jar full of nickels here that are all duplicates or not as nice as what I had before, and I have gone through the so all the 2000s and the 99 or 90s, and went through, selected all the best of the bunch, grabbed my book and just looked for either holes or ones that kind of improved what I had. So I have made a little bit of a progress here. I'm still missing 2020s. I'm missing a 2014 P here. You can see I'm missing 2009s, which I think are the lower mintage ones, if I remember correctly. So that doesn't surprise me. I'm missing both of those. And then pretty much filled in all of the rest up until about the 1989. Couple in here that I'm missing. But for the most part, I'm getting all the Ds and Ps for that. And I have another book that I put any S's that I find. I don't find very many, so I don't bother making space for them in this. And so this goes up to about 1977, I think. And then anything before that, I have another book that that I'm collecting that. So, so I've got, you know, a big chunk of the modern coins collected now, and then just kind of trying to improve them. And then this is just the remainder. So there's a few that need to go into that book. Actually, it will fill some holes. Nothing too exciting. I did get a couple older ones, 1940 and a 1946. So I'll check to see if those fill in some holes. I did get a really nice 1968D. But the more I look at it, the more I think it might be cleaned. It's nice and shiny, but it's fairly well worn for a coin that's so shiny. So my guess is that it got cleaned. When I look at the steps on the Monticello building, they're all worn off. So, you know, for that kind of shine, to see that kind of wear as well, wouldn't surprise me if somebody cleaned that coin at some point. So anyway, if it fills a hole, I haven't checked yet. If it fills a hole, I may put it in there, but I may, if, you know, it's a reasonable one that's in there, I might not bother, just because I'm pretty sure that one's been cleaned. Not that it really matters. These things aren't going to be worth much anyway. I'm just kind of doing it for fun. 1964 is in pretty decent shape. There's a 1963 in here, and then there's a 1982 up here that's in decent shape, and an 88p. So, yeah, anyway. I don't know if you guys find that exciting or not, or interesting or not, but I thought I'd do the US side of it this time, and of course you guys already saw the Canadian stuff. So, all right, well, thanks for watching, and you guys have a great day. Take care. Don't forget to subscribe and like the videos if you're enjoying the content, and I'll keep trying to put out more.
Let's just have a good time, live a good life. What you mean when you say you are new heights? What you mean when you play like all night? Nightlife is a highlight. I'm a fly guy, this is skyline. I don't got the time for my problems. I got the time to dissolve them. Music is my oxygen, I'm breathing, no stopping. You remember my oxygen, the music when it's dropping. Tell me about these vibes provided in these lines. I am so designed to rhyme, check on my mind. Music be described, I got ahead of my time. Beat be prescribed, cause I feed it full of lines. Money ain't nothing, you turn it into something. I'm standing for the money, make you look real funny. Put my own name in discussion, I'm a hustler. Working real hard to show you that I'm coming, yeah. Let me tell you that it's going.